Fayette County. Fayette County, how you doing? Come on, y'all can do better than that. Fayette County, how you doing? So when President Pratt and Vice President Pullen called me and said they wanted me to deliver a word to Fayette County, I started thinking, and on the drive down here, I really was considering the moment in history that we are in. I'm Attorney Gerald Griggs, the 13th President of the Georgia State Conference of the NAACP. But more importantly, I'm a son of Georgia. Sixth generation Georgia, born out of this red clay. Someone that was born on Peachtree, reared in Decatur, educated in College Park, matriculated through the halls of Emory University in Atlanta, moved up to Cincinnati and got a law degree and came back and been practicing law in the state of Georgia for 20 years. So first, I want to thank all the elected officials for being in the room. I want to thank all the freedom fighters for coming to the Freedom Fund. I want to thank each and every member of the Fayette County NAACP. I also want to thank the other branches that are here. But I want to summon y'all into the fight. Because let's be clear, as Coach Q said, I was trained by John Lewis and C.T. Vivian. I recognize what our national chairman said in Las Vegas. He also said it in Charlotte. We are in the fierce urgency of right now. So I'm not going to talk about what the NAACP did in the 1920s, the 1930s, the 1940s, the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, or even 2000. I'm going to remind y'all what y'all did from 2016 to 2020. Because we've been here before. Let's not fool ourselves. We have fought this fight before, and we are ready for this fight again. Let's be clear that Georgia saved the democracy twice. And we're going to have to do it again. So when you cut on the news or you pick up your cell phone and y'all get a little depressed because we see 300,000 black women terminated, or we see the Department of Education on life support, or we see the Department of Justice gutted, I want you to remember something. We fought long before we had the Department of Education. We fought long before the Justice Department was on our side. We fought long before we even had the right to cast a ballot. So I want you to remember something. I can remember being the first person in my family to have all my rights. I'm going to say that again. I can remember being the first person in my family to have all my rights. And we must rededicate ourselves to our offspring, that we will not be the last generation to have all of our rights. Now, generally when I come to a Freedom Fund, I come to have a good time. I come to bring a message. I come to, sometimes scare a few politicians. But in this particular Freedom Fund, I want to make sure that we understand the mandate. We lost a freedom fighter a couple days ago who said it's our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. And so as our ancestor Ashada has gone on to glory, we have to remember something. She fought the good fight. She kept the faith. She was a political prisoner. What are you willing to do for your liberation? You know, I'm the type of person, I don't hold my tongue. That's why I'm glad it's live stream. I'm not afraid of nobody. Not an orange person, not a white person, not a black person. I'm not afraid of anybody. And so I speak truth to power. And so I feel that it's incumbent as the birthplace of civil rights, the home of Dr. King, we speak clarion truth. Charlie Kirk was no civil rights legend. He was divisive, he was a white supremacist, and unfortunately, he died at the hands of gun violence. We have been calling those things out since we existed because we are the NAACP. So let's be clear to the elected officials that want to now have some sense of civility. Where were you on January 6th? Matter of fact, where were you last week when they had blackface in Fayette County? You see, you can't have selective outrage when everybody is under attack. So yes, my heart goes out to Charlie's family, to Charlie's wife, to Charlie's kids, but let's be clear, we're not going to erase what Charlie did. You can't say that black women don't have the mental capacity to have certain jobs and then get a federal holiday. You can't compare Charlie Kirk to Dr. King when Charlie spoke about division and Dr. King spoke about unity. So now, the mandate is to speak truth to power both in season and out of season. Whether it's the cool thing to do or you will be shunned, because this is our civil rights moment. This is our Selma. This is our Montgomery. And I have a question for all of the members of the NAACP and all our supporters. Are you going to show up to your Selma moment? Are you going to be in Montgomery with us? Or are you going to sit on the sidelines? Because we all know what is at stake here. We know that this country is trying to take us back, whether that's 1950 or 1850. Now, my question to my fellow Georgians and those who have adopted this red clay, are we going to be like our ancestors? Never afraid, willing to go into Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina, Florida, Virginia, and both the Carolinas and speak truth to power? Or are we going to be afraid? Because here's the thing, y'all. I have a 17-year-old and a 17-month-old. Both of them are expecting to inherit the same benefits that I did. I have a serious problem when a university in Atlanta wants to erase DEI. I have a serious problem when the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport will be defunded for $37 million. I have a serious problem when we will have candidates going up and down these paved roads and these dirt roads with racist tropes. We got to speak truth to power, y'all. We got to call folks out. And here's the hope in this whole thing. Y'all remember in February of 2020, we were all inside and we heard about a jogger. And in May, we saw the video and Georgia was mobilized. And we had the biggest protest in the history of the United States. See, let's be clear. We can talk about the birthplace of civil rights, but then we can talk about the rebirth of social justice. It didn't start in Minnesota. It started in Brunswick. So when I say we've been here before, we need to act like we've been here before.